Imagine this. You hear Honda S2000 SUV and your brain does a double take. A lightweight, high-revving sports car turning into a family-friendly SUV? That's like asking a marathon runner to suddenly become a bodybuilder overnight. Still, the idea is interesting because it mixes the spirit of the Honda S2000 with the practicality people expect today. But the real question is, would it actually work in real life? Or would it end up being a confused compromise? Let's break it down honestly from a user's perspective. Starting with design and looks, you'd expect a blend of sporty and modern SUV styling. Think sharp headlights, a slightly aggressive front grille, and a sloping roofline that hints at coupe DNA. Compared to traditional boxy SUVs like a Toyota Fortuner or older CR-Vs, this would look more stylish and urban-focused. It wouldn't be a hardcore off-roader visually. Instead, it would target people who want something that stands out without being too loud. But one thing to ask yourself, would you sacrifice headroom and rear space just for a sleeker silhouette? Moving to interior and comfort, the cabin would likely follow Honda's typical philosophy under Honda Motor Company: simple, clean, and driver-oriented. The seating position would be comfortable for the driver with good visibility, but rear passengers might feel slightly compromised due to the coupe-style roofline. Legroom would be acceptable for average adults, but not overly generous. Materials would be decent, though not luxury level. It's more about practicality and usability than premium vibes. So if you're expecting a full luxury SUV experience, this wouldn't be that. Now, engine and performance is where expectations get tricky. The original Honda S2000 was famous for its high-revving, naturally aspirated engine, but in an SUV format, that setup wouldn't be practical. A turbocharged engine or hybrid system would make more sense for daily usability. Instead of chasing high RPM power, the focus would shift toward low-end torque for city driving in smooth acceleration. Compared to performance SUVs, it wouldn't feel aggressive, but compared to regular compact SUVs, it might feel a bit more responsive. When it comes to driving experience in city conditions, the SUV would likely feel easy to handle. Steering would be light enough for traffic, and compact dimensions would help in parking. On highways, stability would be decent, with controlled body roll if tuned properly. However, don't expect sporty cornering like the original S2000. This is more about comfort and balance rather than pushing limits. Compared to something like a traditional ladder frame SUV, this would feel more refined and car-like. Talking about features and technology, Honda usually equips its vehicles with practical tech rather than overwhelming gimmicks. You'd likely get a touchscreen infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a digital instrument cluster, and essential driver assistance systems. Features like adaptive cruise control, lane assist, and parking sensors would make driving easier, especially for long trips. Nothing overly futuristic, but enough to meet modern expectations without confusion. Safety would remain a strong point. Standard features like airbags, ABS, traction control, and stability control would be expected. In addition, driver assist systems would help reduce human error on highways. Honda generally maintains a good safety reputation, so this SUV would likely follow that trend. For families, this is an important factor, and this concept wouldn't disappoint in that department. In terms of mileage and practical use, efficiency would depend heavily on the engine choice. A hybrid variant would likely deliver better fuel economy in city driving, while a turbo petrol would balance performance and efficiency. Cargo space would be usable for daily needs like groceries, luggage, or short trips, but not oversized loads, so it's practical but not class-leading in space. Now, the honest pros and cons. On the plus side, it offers a unique, sporty-inspired design, comfortable daily usability, modern features, and decent efficiency. On the downside, it compromises on rear space, doesn't offer true off-road capability, and cannot match the raw performance identity of the original S2000. It sits in an in-between zone rather than excelling in one category. So who is this best for? If you're someone who wants a stylish, daily SUV with a hint of sportiness, this concept fits your lifestyle. But if you're expecting a hardcore performance machine or a rugged off-roader, you'll likely feel underwhelmed. It's more for urban drivers who want balance rather than extremes. Final verdict. While the Honda S2000 SUV is an interesting imagination, it remains a concept rather than a confirmed vehicle. There is no official launch date or pricing available. If it were ever produced, it would likely sit in the mid-range SUV segment, competing with modern compact crossovers. So here's the real question. Would you actually choose a sporty-inspired SUV like this over a traditional practical SUV? Or does the original S2000 deserve to stay a pure sports car forever? If you enjoyed this honest breakdown, make sure to subscribe to Real Plus Honest Review. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you buy this concept if it became real, or is it better left as an idea? See you in the next one.